Hello, thank you for coming back and joining us again for In the Know, where we try to make you in the know regarding the cannabis industry. I'm Dr. Justin Davis with Florida Marijuana Doctors. Today I'm very excited to bring you a very distinguished guest, Matt Bowman, who you have so many accomplishments and titles. Can you just give us a brief rundown of who you are? And
Sure, absolutely, Dr. Davis. So my name is Matt Bowman. I'm on the board of Minorities for Medical Marijuana. But at the end of the day, I'm a farmer. And I'm a Florida farmer, a southern farmer, a southeastern farmer. So I farm in South Carolina and I farm in Florida. And so today what I want to talk to you about is the Florida hemp farm movement. And that is what it is. It is a movement, Doc.
don't let him fool you. Yes, he is a farmer, but you've been a fighter pilot. You've had a very distinguished career, both in the military as well as, I even learned briefly that he was one of the first to represent his school in the spelling bee. So don't let him fool you. But yes, he does have a lot of experience with farming. And what exactly is the Florida? Tell me again.
Sure. So Doc, the Florida hemp movement is an opportunity for Florida farmers and Florida residents to fully participate in the hemp industry. And it's going to start out as a multi-million-dollar industry, and at the end of the day, it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. And so it doesn't matter whether you're a small farmer with 1 to 5 acres, or whether you're a large farmer growing industrial hemp for biomass. Hemp is a movement much in the way that cotton, tobacco, and other commodity crops have been a movement in the past.
Now, is this something new? Because, I learned even very recently that the Declaration of Independence is actually written on hemp. So we know that it's been around for a long time. What's making it current, in the news and the movement now?
Doc, that's a great question. So hemp was a part of the American landscape from the beginning, as in many countries. But in 1937, when marijuana became illegal, all the various forms of cannabis plant, including hemp, including marijuana hemp plants that have more than 0.3% THC, all of them became illegal. And so in the United States, we stopped growing hemp in 1937. We grew some during the war as part of the war effort, but largely after 1937, we quit growing it. The odd thing, and this is the oddities of capitalism, if you will, is that we started importing hemp from other countries that still had a crop legal. There's over 25,000 industrial uses for hemp, and so it's very important that we bring hemp back to the U.S., that we decriminalize and destigmatize a plant that really has so many commercial uses.
So it's really just for political reasons more than anything else why it became illegal. You said over 25,000 industrial uses?
That's correct.
That's incredible.
Over 25,000, everything from what we hear now about CBD oils.
Right,
and
that's what I think of a lot as CBD.
That's right. And that's on the medicinal side, but you can use it for biomass, you can use it for, all of us who live in Gainesville, you have GRU and high electrical bills, so there's so many uses for this plant.
So if someone wants to follow in your footsteps and become a hemp farmer, what does that entail? What do they need to do?
Yeah, so right now, the state of Florida is drafting regulations on how hemp will be regulated in the state of Florida. Over the next week in Fort Lauderdale, in Tampa, in Tallahassee, I encourage you all to participate with the Department of Agriculture's town hall meetings. That's the first step. The second step is to join organizations. I'm on the board for Minorities for Medical Marijuana, so gratuitous plug, M4MM.org, that's one resource. The National Minority Hemp Association is another resource. There's numerous online resources for getting into this space, but the key is we are at the very earliest stages, so I encourage everyone to get involved.
Okay. And Nikki Fried, how has she played a role in this?
Yeah, so she has absolutely been wonderful in advocating for the governor to sign the hemp legislation that was recently passed. It's on his desk for signature. She is leading the charge along with Holly and others in that office who are really trying to make a difference and give us rules, right? We want to be compliant. We want to be legal. We want to make sure we do everything right. And so those two are taking the charge and providing a framework for us to operate under.
Okay. And let's say for the average person that doesn't necessarily, want to become a hemp farmer, but we want to support the movement in the industry, what's the best way for us to do that realistically?
So the best way to do it is to continue to talk to your local representatives, whether they're the state senators or your state representatives, and tell them that you support Florida getting new industries like hemp, new industries like cannabis. We need to destigmatize it and let people know that hemp has so many uses and can be so beneficial for our state.
Wow. I know that, the estimates are that the approval rating for medical marijuana are up to perhaps as high as 80% or even higher. What do you think that would be for the use of industrial hemp?
I think for industrial hemp, we'll exceed even those high numbers for medical marijuana. And for one simple reason, the only thing that someone can say about marijuana is there is a psychoactive effect. Hemp does not have that. With the 0.3 THC levels, there's very little to no psychoactive effect. So I think the numbers will be even higher.
Now, this is a question that I have, and you may or may not know the answer to this, but I'm curious. When we talk about cannabis-derived CBD versus hemp-derived CBD, besides the fact that there's much less THC in the hemp-derived, what about other cannabinoids? Is that equal, or is that less than you might see in a cannabis plant as well?
So Doc, that's a great question. There's so much research being done right now in evaluating the effects, especially in the U.S. I think countries like Israel have really taken the lead in evaluating whether it's full spectrum, what parts of the plant have what effects on human. But I think a lot of that is yet to be determined.
That's great information. Again, Matt Bowman, everybody, thank you for coming. And thank you for joining us again for In the Know. This is Dr. Justin Davis, and as always, taking the high road.
All right, well, listen, thanks for having me. I've had a wonderful talk today with Dr. Davis. For those of you who are in the audience listening, we want you to be a part of this hemp movement. As I said in my remarks, Minorities for Medical Marijuana is a springboard. It's been my springboard to get into this industry. I'm doing this for myself, but you can't see off camera. I have 3 beautiful children, and I'm doing it for our children. We're doing it for the South. We're doing it for Florida. So I just want to encourage all of you, join the movement.